Hello, everyone. I hope that you are doing well and your families are doing well. Thank you so much for clicking on the video and tuning into this particular garden tour. So I'll get straight into it. I'm back in my front yard and it is horribly hot. So I'm just going to show you what's still surviving, what's going on in the garden. So here our lamb's ear are still producing very, very well. They're doing really well, still spreading. And beside that is the Gaura. I don't see any more blooms. So I think that's probably the end of the blooms, or I just need to water it more. Behind that is a limelight hydrangea that finally bloomed, and it just started blooming this week. So I am thinking that the blooms are going to get much bigger than that, much floppier than that. That's what's going on that side. Here's our petite rose. This was a Walmart find for $5 last year on clearance, and it bloomed. But now we need to take these old blooms off. I don't know if it will continue to bloom, and I just throw that down in there for compost. Here are some snapdragons. I will be collecting some seeds. I bought some little glass jars from Dollar Tree, and this is what I'll be collecting my seeds in. Behind that is a foxglove. This has come to seed. I'll be doing the same thing for that. We have an azalea. This one was also a clearance, and it did not bloom this year, so hopefully it will bloom next season. Here are some petunias. They did not do as well as expected, and I keep forgetting to put the slug repellent down there. But I thought these would drape down like the ones in the backyard, but they didn't. They stayed that size. They'll bloom, and then I'll pick this off, or maybe I just needed to add more. Okay, in the front here, there is an azalea. That azalea was white. It bloomed very pretty. And one is on the other side. Now this side does not get as much sun as the other side. And we can tell by these lamb's ear here, as opposed to the ones on the other side. They are humongous. So I'm thinking that this, maybe the shrub is blocking the sun and it's not getting as big. But this one is quite large, but not as large as the one on the opposite side. So the salvia, I think, is done. And this I had two of these. Let's see, I think this orchid probably covered the other one up. That's what it is. It's down there. But this orchid was beautiful when it bloomed. And so things are just kind of dying down now, as you all know. This is one of those, I cannot think of it, but it blooms purple. And it's actually an annual. But when I fertilize, it comes back every year. This year it did not bloom. We have some hosta that has, the pretty bloom is now fading away, but it was gorgeous. Very, very pretty. And that hosta always gets humongous. And on the two sides, there are some, I think these are Japanese hollies, if I'm not mistaken. But that's what's on the outside, and I just have a little lamp there for ambiance at night. Now these mums they're done blooming. I'm going to cut these back so the new blooms can come. They'll be ready for fall. As you can see, there are some new blooms, one right there, some down in there. So all I do is just pick these off and drop them down in for compost. So when I water and fertilize, they will get fed, the mums will get fed. So I'll do that tomorrow sometimes. Of course, it's evening time. I love to come out here in the evening and do stuff in the garden. Back up, it's getting a little blurry. Now this mum is getting ready to bloom. It's a little different than the other mums that are the deep burgundy color. And I think this is pink. I have a huge one in my back garden, but this is going to be gorgeous. It's really big, really big. And someone is still celebrating 4th of July because they're shooting fireworks, but I'm all for it. Here's the other. Let me move this. I've been supposed to move this since the last tour. But this is the other mum. I just have 3 on this row down here. This one is different. And then that one. But I didn't know this was different when I bought it. But that's okay because I think I'm going to move it anyway. So I found another, my husband and I found another statue here, almost identical to the one that I have on the other side that I'll show you in just a moment. We were coming from the store and it was on the side of the road and we picked it up. Free, free, I love free. And so the only thing is it had cracks in it. And as you could tell down here by the discoloration, my husband put some concrete in it. I'll repaint it white, but it's almost identical. It's a old fountain, a part of a fountain, in which the other one on the other side is too. And I've been wanting, I had a little small one down here and I said, oh, I wish I could just find one. Well, we found it. What a blessing. And behind that is a tulip, and that tulip was a beautiful red. I had to tie it up because it started spreading, and next year or in the fall I'll divide it so I can put it other places. Back here is a hosta as well. I've cut the bloom off because it started to look ragged. Okay, behind this boxwood, there's also a hosta here, and that's kind of dwindling down a little bit. I've been pruning the parts where either the snails have gotten to it or they turn brown. And I just have a little fountain that needs to be cleaned out on this side, and water needs to be added to it. So this is the front. I added some light around this little circle where this urn is. It had gotten out of control really bad. This is again the Vinca vines and the creeping Jenny. Makes a beautiful arrangement. You don't really have to do anything to it. Just water it, give it a little bit of fertilizer every now and again, and that's an arrangement. I mean, just simple. It's really simple and beautiful. And they're very healthy. They're spreading, doing well. Doing well. But I thought I'd add the little lights around here just to give it a little pizzazz. That's it right in front of my sitting area right there. And this little clearance plant is still going strong. I think I paid $8. It probably was cheaper than that, but it's been blooming and just blooming and blooming. It's doing a great job. And it's just something simple. I don't have to do much to it. It loves the sun. And then here is my pop of color on my table here. I just love color. I love color. And then on the 2 sides, so now on to this side, behind this boxwood is a hosta. And here's a bloom that, this is how beautiful that is. Isn't that pretty? It didn't grow as tall as the other, but it's looking fresh and pretty, so I love that. Then over here, here's the other statue that I was talking about. Now this one is, I like this muted gray, like no color. This is almost identical to the other fountain. Unbelievable. I've been wanting one, and thank the Lord I found one because I didn't want to pay for it. But this one is just a little bigger. And behind this is the hibiscus. They bloom so, oh my gosh, this is my favorite plant in my gardening yard. Oh, just gorgeous. Now that one needs to actually come off, but I'll let it fall off because I just want to enjoy the blooms. But like this stuff here, I just throw it back down in there and let it decompose. But we've got a new bloom. It'll be probably out in the morning when I arise, if it's the Lord's will. Just gorgeous. I love it. I hope y'all can see, but it's nighttime. But these are some, they're little white flowers. If I think of the name, I will put it on the screen. But they bloom white, and they bloomed at the beginning of the spring. And they look so pretty in front of this statue. I can't think of the name. I'm going to do better with the names of my flowers. And then we have another boxwood in between the statue. And then here's where my mums start again. I'll be pruning those when they completely bloom, finish blooming. I want to enjoy them while I can. And then here is another azalea, which is white, that bloom white, along with the purple orchids. I'm sorry, irises. They're irises. I think I said on the other side that they were, well, they are irises. I tried to mimic each side. But this side, see the difference between, these have got to be divided. They're just mass humongous, and I love it because I'm gonna make an area where I can add more to my back. I've created another bed back in the backyard, which I'm gonna make that out of a I think I'm gonna do a cut garden this year or next year. Okay, so there's another mum that I've already pruned, and another bloom is trying to come up. And then the little new blooms that will be coming up soon. We have another petite rose that needs to rebloom. And then we have the azalea that was $5, like the other one on the other side. And this azalea was $5. And then we have some orchids, irises. I don't know why I want to call that an orchid, but everything is just kind of dying down. As you can see, the limbs are starting to die down on the iris. But this is my favorite part up here, is this simple little container. Just gorgeous. Gorgeous. It's the Sun Patient. Now, this is a surprise because I got this on clearance. This Impatient, I'm sorry, the Sun Patient. But a few weeks ago, I saw this in there. So I think this is a house plant. So I'm going to take this out of, let me stop digging down in there. But I'm going to eventually take that out. The sun hasn't done too bad with it. It just burnt a little bit, but I don't think this is supposed to be outside if I'm not mistaken. But I just love this. It's just simple. Some Vinca vines, Creeping Jenny, and then you put a pop of color, whatever that is. So this is stuff that I got out of my backyard. And look how it's grown down. It's just beautiful. And I just clip it once it starts to run into my lamb's ear. But I think that is just gorgeous. And so that's it for that. And I appreciate you all watching. I thank you for my new subscribers, my original subscribers. Thank you all so much for always tuning in and supporting the channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I hope that you had a great 4th of July, and I pray that you have a safe and amazing weekend. And I'll see you soon in the garden. Thank you, and may the good Lord bless you all real good. Take care.